Come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of meaning, ours is no caravan of despair. Come, yet again come.
Come, come, whoever you are, wanderer,
Welcome, everyone, and especially our visitors, to this online gathering with the Unitarian Universalist Church of Bowling Green. Today is a warm day for the last day of February, but it is awfully rainy here, so we were happy to get here to get in before all the rain came and hit us. We are a welcoming congregation, whoever you are, however you identify, wherever you come from, and whoever you love, you are welcome here. Our Sunday services are different each week so that we can honor and learn from the wide array of traditions and beliefs. Today, we have actually 3 speakers that are joining us in a video. Their names are Ryan Dearbone, Johnalma Barnett, and Davida Flowers, and we'll speak a little bit more about them before their presentation. Though we walk each in our own path here in this place, and now at this time we journey together as one community. For the worldwide community of Unitarian Universalists, the flaming chalice is a symbol of the light of learning, the fire of commitment, and the love within our congregation. This morning, I will be lighting the chalice.
Rise up, O flame, by thy light glowing, show to us beauty, vision, and joy.
This morning, Jeffrey Strong will be giving our opening reading.
"2021 Black History Theme, the Black Family, Representation, Identity, and Diversity. The Black family has been a topic of study in many disciplines: history, literature, the visual arts and film studies, sociology, anthropology, and social policy. Its representation, identity, and diversity have been reverenced, stereotyped, and vilified from the days of slavery to our own time. The Black family knows no single location, since family reunions and genetic ancestry searches testify to the spread of family members across states, nations, and continents. Not only are individual Black families diasporic, but Africa and the diaspora itself has been long portrayed as the Black family at large. While the role of the Black family has been described by some as a microcosm of the entire race, its complexity as the foundation of African American life and history can be seen in numerous debates over how to represent its meaning and typicality from a historical perspective, as slave or free, as patriarchal or matriarchal, matrifocal, as single-headed or dual-headed household, as extended or nuclear, as fictive, kin and blood lineage, as legal or common law, and as Black or interracial, etc. Variation appears as norms, sexuality, and incarceration. The family offers a rich tapestry of images for exploring the African American past and present.
Thank you, Jeff. Please join us as we sing the hymn, Hush.
Jeffrey Strong is going to help me with this. Hush, hush, somebody's calling my name. Hush, hush, somebody's calling my name. Hush, hush, somebody's calling my name. Oh my Lord, oh my Lord, what shall I do? What shall I do? Sounds like freedom. Somebody's calling my name. Sounds like freedom. Somebody's calling my name. Sounds like freedom. Somebody's calling my name. Oh my Lord, what shall I do? What shall I do? Sounds like justice. Somebody's calling my name. Sounds like justice. Somebody's calling my name. Sounds like justice. Somebody's calling my name. Oh my Lord, what can I do? What shall I do? Soon one morning, death come a-creeping in my room. Soon one morning, death come a-creeping in my room. Soon one morning, death come a-creeping in my room. Oh my Lord, what shall I do? What shall I do? I'm so glad trouble don't last always. I'm so glad trouble don't last always. I'm so glad trouble don't last always.
Thank you, Jeff and Forrest, for the music. It was really appreciated. We wish that Johnalma here, one of our speakers, had joined us in the song. If you can, if you're visiting, you will want to know that after the service finishes, we officially end it, we have what is known as a coffee hour, which is neither an hour nor does it involve drinking coffee, but nevertheless, please join us as it gives us a chance to socialize and also to discuss the service. Now, we will take a few moments for meditation, reflection, and prayer, and the singing bowl will lead us into silence. After that silence, we will sing Spirit of Life, and you're welcome to sing along.
Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea. Move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me.
Thank you, Forrest. As mentioned earlier, Unitarian Universalists have a wide array of beliefs, and the speaker at our Sunday services come from many, many traditions. To introduce our speakers today, I'd like to introduce our introducer, Diane Lewis.
Good morning. This morning, you will be viewing a video montage created by Tim McGaughey of 3 individuals from our local BG community. It is my pleasure to introduce them now. Ryan Dearbone is currently a Donor Experience Officer in the Office of Philanthropy at WKU, as well as an adjunct professor in the Department of Communication. Ryan is also the president of the Bowling Green Warren County NAACP, as well as chairman of the Community Education Board of Directors. Ryan also sits on several other boards in the community, as well as involved with other organizations, and is a deacon at State Street Baptist Church. He is the race director for the Jackrabbit Jog 5K and 5 Miller Run to raise money and awareness for polycystic kidney disease. Ryan is from Hopkinsville, Kentucky, and graduated from Christian County High School. He is a 2-time WKU graduate with a bachelor's degree in broadcasting and a master's degree in communication. In his spare time, Ryan is an avid runner and freelance sports columnist. He is married to Bonita and has a daughter named Echo, with a new baby ready to burst on the scene in March 2021. Johnalma Barnett attended Bowling Green High School and Western Kentucky University, where she works now as the shipping and receiving manager. She was born and raised right here in Bowling Green, and due to the passing of her parents at a young age, was raised by a wonderful aunt, her mother's older sister. Johnalma is a member of Mount Zion Baptist Church, where she serves as church photographer. Her family was actually one of the 4 founders of Mount Zion around 149 years ago, and they are, to this day, the largest family at the church. She spends her free time working with the homeless and taking pictures. She is the coordinator for Feeding America at Lambkin Park, in partnership with her church, where from 860 to 1,100 families are served. She's also the founder of the Bowling Green Warren County African American Women's Democratic Association. This group came out of a need to get more Black women involved in the political process here. And Johnalma believes everyone needs a voice. A strong advocate for social justice, she is also coordinator for the Kentucky chapter of the Poor People's Campaign, having marched on Frankfurt and in Washington, D.C. She was chosen a trailblazer by the NAACP, nominated for Woman of the Year, member of the Rural Council, 2nd District of Kentucky, member of the Black Caucus of the Kentucky Democratic Party, and serves on the Kentuckians for the Commonwealth Steering Committee, as well as a community organizer. Davida Flowers is a former apprentice midwife, writer, wife of Max Farrar, and mother of 2. Although she was born in Chicago and grew up in Houston, Texas, she loves the country and feels right at home on her and her husband's organic farm. In the last year and a half, she has spent her time volunteering within the activist community supporting the Sunrise Movement, as well as garnering skills to step into the world of local floriculture in southern Kentucky. Her passion above all in life is birth, and she considers herself a spiritual midwife. Whether she is planting seeds for tomorrow, manifesting her creativity into the world through her innate gifts, or helping others to bring their own talents and children to this physical plane, she is moved to witness and participate in the process of nurturing life through its transitions. In life, as on her own farm, her husband Max brings the bread and Davida brings the roses. Enjoy.
Hi, my name is Ryan Dearbone, and I am here to talk to you a little bit about Black History Month and Black family representation, identity, and diversity. And I'm thrilled to be able to talk to you virtually, just to share a little bit of my story and the connection between African American history and African American Black History Month. So I'm originally from Hopkinsville, Kentucky. I came to Bowling Green by way of college, WKU, but originally, like I said, I'm from Hopkinsville, Kentucky. I was raised in a single parent household. My mom, Alfreda, grew up, me and my mom, thick as thieves, tight as can be. My grandmother lived across the street from me. So I'm still close to my grandmother, very close to her. We celebrated her 90th birthday, actually just the other day. So my father was not in the picture. He was not ready to be a father. He was more interested in being a young swinging bachelor, and so from there, me and him never connected, and to this day, we still really don't have a relationship. But my mom took on the role of both being a mother and a father to me, and my grandmother always pitched in wherever she could. So we grew up. I grew up in lower income housing. At one point, we lived in Section 8 housing before they took that designation off of the house that we lived in. So I grew up, never had everything, but I had everything I needed. It was great to be able to be around my mother. We connected so much. I mean, like I said, she was my best friend. Movies, TVs, books, we connected. We would go to the library every 2 weeks, and I would get like 5 or 6 books. She would get 3 or 4 books, and we would spend time reading, just reading. And I'm reading thick books, like I'm 8 years old reading Stephen King books, and books that thick. And because my mother encouraged that love for reading for me. The music I listen to now is all because of her, because I listen to music from the 60s, 70s, and so on. Music way before my time. I'm only 38, but I'm listening to music decades earlier than me. So the influence she had on me was amazing. And growing up as a young Black man in a single parent household, you kind of, the narrative is that, you're going to end up in jail, you're going to end up dead, you're going to end up selling drugs, you're going to end up working in a factory, because you are the status quo. You are a young Black man growing up in a single parent house. Unfortunately, there are a lot of young Black children that are growing up in single parent houses, not always single moms, sometimes it's single dads, but there tends to be in some numbers, it seems like a higher level of single parent families when it comes to Blacks. But I didn't lack for anything. I didn't lack for love. I didn't lack for anything that I needed. And I think, honestly, it was the best thing that could have happened to me, because I was able to really learn how to be a loving parent. And it didn't matter that I only had one. It just mattered that I had a loving parent who did everything and would do anything for me. So my mom, unfortunately, she passed away a few years ago, back in 2016, from a kidney disease. But I mean, she worked her tail off for me. I'll never forget all the things she did for me. There were weeks that I didn't realize it, but she had pennies, just pennies in her purse, even though she worked at a nursing home as a certified nurse's assistant, to be able to pay the bills and take care of everything. By the time her paycheck was gone, there was only pennies left in there. But I never knew it, because, again, she took care of everything, all of my needs, everything I could ever have asked for. But now I have my own family. I have a beautiful wife named Davida. We've been married for almost 6 years. A daughter named Echo, who turns 3 on the 17th, and a new baby on the way. And my perspective of being a parent, especially now in this climate, this world, it's grown so much. I lean on what my mom taught me and what my grandmother has taught me about being a parent, about just being there, we talk about representation. It's about being there, representing as a parent, of actually showing up. My daughter loves me to death, and I love her to death. And I know that no matter what she goes through, as long as I'm there, as long as I'm represented, she sees me, she knows that daddy's there for her, whatever. I think that's going to make a huge difference in her life. And I know it's made a huge difference in my life.
I'm Johnalma, Barnett. Thank you for inviting me here today. It's always a pleasure to talk about my family and just the Black family in general. So today I'm going to start off by talking about my 3rd generation grandmother, Carrie Buford. Carrie Buford lived in Jonesville, which is where Western is today. For nearly a century following the emancipation from the 1860s to the 1950s, Jonesville was a strong black community, which was founded by former enslaved men and women. Jonesville had grocery stores, beauty parlors, and there were 2 churches because, as we all know, the foundation of the black family has always really been the church. Well, my grandmother, Carrie Buford, was one of the 7 founders of Mount Zion Baptist Church. Mount Zion is still in existence today. It is off of 185 on Graham Drive. My grandmother spent the first 13 years of her life as a slave. Grandma Carrie is on my mother's side, and she is as far back on that side as we can go with our heritage due to slavery. When we moved, I had started school at Dishman McGinnis. I remember that first day when they took us there, and I got to the door, looked in, no one in there looked like me, so I didn't want to go in at all. And I'm thinking that some of you all probably wouldn't want to go in there either. When you're a kid and you look in there, there's no one looking like you. And 2 girls from the class walked up. The teacher was standing there talking to me, trying to coax me in the door that I was not coming through. But 2 girls, Lori and Phyllis, walked up and said, "Come and sit with us." Well, there's no way the teacher told them to do that because the teacher was talking to me. So finally, I decided to go in and sit with Lori and Phyllis. We became the best of friends. Dishman, I love Dishman. And to this day, 15 of us in that class still had dinner together once a week because that friendship went through elementary school, junior high, high school, and it's still there. So when I talk to people about this, I always like to tell them, hate, I know for a fact that hate is not born in you. You have to learn it. Because as a kid, those kids welcomed me in and I did not have a problem. So, I guess we'll end with saying, for me, the black family was a village because I was raised by my aunt since I'd lost both parents. And it's a village. You depend on that whole neighborhood. And to this day, I think it's still like that. At the university, a lot of the students come to me. It's just a village. Thank you for inviting me.
One of my favorite memories of growing up in my family, which included my extended family, cousins and grandparents and the cousins of my mom and dad and the cousins of my grandparents, like it's all in this pot. Like that would be showing up at family reunions and we would have them all over the place. Just wherever groups of us had transplanted, that's where we would go. So sometimes we'd be driving out to California. Sometimes it would be in, Chicago. Sometimes it would be down in Texas, where our family was down there. It's just getting to travel and getting to just hang out. Like the travel in and of itself was you get to catch up on a lot of sleep, but you also get to see a lot of stuff and you get to eat you get to eat so much food that you don't normally eat. Um just there would just be so much going on at a family reunion, not to mention my cousins would be there. And so it's like as a kid, again, built-in friends who just know who I am, know what I'm about, like who I can just chill with. It was yeah, I didn't want to leave. Like much I look forward to family reunions as a kid. Like we would have them every year. And it isn't until I got older, and I guess, the generation of my parents got older, and, the siblings of my grandparents, passed away and transitioned, is that we don't have these elders now who are kind of responsible for cohering us in the same way. And so there's a baton passing that's happening and kind of needs to happen to keep the family reunions, alive and a thing. And I think that it was just such a given when I was a kid. But yeah, just the level of activity. Like there would be, you'd have an uncle and, a second cousin, playing chess. There's, so many people in the kitchen just cooking. I'd be out running with my cousins, and, we're getting into all kind of mayhem, like just trying to negotiate being able to walk around the corner to, the gas station to get some snacks or something. It was just it was just fun. It was just there was always something. Like just thinking about the chess games. I remember sitting on the sidelines and like just thinking about being old enough to like get in on it and be like, yeah, I'm gonna show them someday. Like just come back and I'm gonna know how to play chess and everything. Just observing and eavesdropping on conversations that I didn't have any business listening to. It was young and old and new, and extend not just extended family, but the family reunion was so chill. You could anybody that was dating or that you were old enough to date at that time, you could just bring them through, and like they would get a plate. It was so relaxed. And again, there's enough people in my family that I got to choose who I wanted to be cool with and who I didn't. And it's just like, and just felt there was a place for everybody. There was a niche for everybody. You got the loud cousins, you got the sophisticated ones, you got the ones that are just from all type of backgrounds. And I think that is the tapestry of family that I had growing up, and that is something that I really appreciated. One of the awesome things about my life is that I live in a mixed family. My husband is white. I'm obviously black. That means that my children, that they have roots with African and African American ancestry as well as European ancestry. And it is just as important, I feel, to make a family, where all of those things are uplifted and shared with one another, honestly, because it's a sharing. It's like in my partnership with Max, in my parenting of Maya and Alton, and in the, a lot of rearing of myself, honestly. um, it's coming to understand the beauty in blending these two things. And it's given me a spirit of discernment, I will say, and like cultivating and building up my family and deciding what is important to and teach, and what is it important to impart. I get to challenge myself daily to look at what I receive from my family, what I've received, all of this kind of like this cultural milieu that we all wait around in, and thinking about again where Max comes from, and all of the boons as well as the baggage that comes with his ancestry and his cultural milieu and his family upbringing. I get to practice a spirit of discernment, looking at my family structure and some of the ways that I was raised, looking at his family structure and some of the ways that he was raised, and really deciding what do I want to keep and what do I want to leave, like from both of these things. And I think it is a real gift to be able to pick and choose, um, and be in a state of mind and in a real place of compassion, to be able to allow myself to craft the family that I want, and to build this foundation that is really solid, for my children, because I feel like our family is a reflection of something so much more, just of what is possible. Like, what does racial reconciliation look like? It doesn't just mean Black people living with white people. It doesn't just mean Black people marrying white people and them having kids together. It is really transcending this baggage that, frankly, neither of us speaking of me and Max, neither of us is responsible for this. But every single day, this is something that we have to grapple with, the baggage of our ancestry, and this collective kind of grief that has gone unprocessed, like on both sides. Like, what does it mean? It is not just as simple as oppressor and oppressed when it comes to like black and white. But for a long time, this is the dynamic that has been imprinted in people's DNA, in their ancestral memory, and how to unwind that and to reuse it to the workable strands into something that is really strong and durable, and create real healing. And I feel like by rearing my children in a way that they feel like whole beings, um, and keeping the elements that my parents raised me to feel like a whole and complete being, who's worthy of love and deserves to be here and deserves to speak, to impart that to my kids, and also to bring that the same confidence, um, that comes from another part of their ancestry, I think is important. It's like we are human at the end of the day, but how do I teach you how to navigate these other things that are unfortunately a part of our reality, like to be successful, and to really thrive in this world? I feel like it's important to teach them that, not only their history, but also that they are capable of making, and doing so much more, that they have to have an imaginative spirit, and that they have to be visionaries. They have to be able to think the unthinkable, to do what people say, you know, just can't be done, um, like just transcend. And I feel like that our union, our family, is a reflection of that desire to just transcend, a lot of this pain, to get real healing, and what we teach and what we convey, to our children as we grow up and we practice loving one another. All of us in tandem. That is beauty. That's a highlight of my life.
Thank you. We appreciate our speakers sharing their thoughts and their pictures of their families today with us here. We'd also like to mention that if you have any questions about the Unitarian Universalism or joining the congregation, please contact our board president by emailing lakenheath64@gmail.com. And you can also request our weekly email updates and our monthly newsletter. And please type your email address in the chat box or email us at office@uubgky.org. Our community is strengthened by sharing our resources. This place and the work that we do is supported by the voluntary generosity of all who contribute. The offering is a sacrament of the Free Church. This offering will now be given and received in grateful appreciation of our shared hopes and values. And while we listen to the offertory music, we invite you to go to the website shown on the screen and donate there, or to write a check and prepare it for mailing. Thank you, Forrest, especially bringing us Billie Holiday's God Bless the Child, rather appropriate for our service today. And we'd like to thank everyone for their generous gifts. May we use them wisely in the service of our congregation and our community. We would now like to sing our hymn, Lift Every Voice and Sing.
Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring, ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing arise high as the listening skies. Let it be sound bright as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has taught us. Facing the rising sun, a new day begun, with
Thank you, Forrest and Jeffrey. We appreciate that. This morning, Jeffrey Strong will be doing the closing reading.
No one is born hating another person because of the color of his skin or his background or his religion. People must learn to hate, and if they can learn to hate, they can be taught to love. For love comes more naturally to the human heart than its opposite.
Thank you. As our gathering ends, we will extinguish the flame of our chalice, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts wherever we go. Go now in peace. Go in service to others. Go in love. Please stay and join us at our coffee hour. Thank you.